There we go. Okay, so welcome to the conference and this interactive, I hope, keynote presentation. As you can see in the right-hand side, we did a bit of an online survey. So if you have logged into Adobe Connect and you didn't do the survey yet, go ahead and do that now, please, because we'd like to get a profile of the audience to see who we have out there. And, oh, it's changing even now as we speak. Look at that. The majority of you seem to be in an academic kind of role. So which is good because a lot of what we're going to be talking about is aimed, at you in that kind of capacity. But along with that, what I'm trying to do is to emphasize the importance of getting the learning experience from the bottom up. Who is the audience? Who are the stakeholders that are involved? And make sure that you customize that experience for their needs. So it's really good if you're doing a webinar to try and have some kind of capture of the audience. Another question I might have put in might have been location, because I've been chatting with some people as far away as South Africa. Where are the South Africa people? See, I've been chatting with them. So we've got people from all over the world, and that's another demographic which might have been interesting to see where everyone is from. So, QR code scanners. How many people have it on their phone already? Fantastic. Those of you who don't have your hand up, go into whatever app store that you use and install a QR code scanner now, because we're going to be doing some activities with augmented reality and we want everyone to participate. So if you don't have a QR code scanner yet on your phone, please install that while I'm doing a little more intro stuff. And I also had, oops, and turn the audio off, please. I also had on my website an activity which I'm calling a pre-activity, where we were discussing the meaning of knowledge, definitions of knowledge. So if you haven't had a chance yet to contribute to that, please go to abasilwordpress.com, eLearning-R-D, and put your contribution up into that activity for us. So these are some of the things we're going to do. We're going to launch into an activity in a moment, talk a little bit about instructional design, webinar design, and then we'll have a play with what I'm referring to as immersive 360 fishbowl webinar. That's the big finish. So here we go. Let's see, how can we do this? Let's split down the middle. So everybody on this side, you're the left team, and everybody on this side, you're the right team. Okay, there's prizes, so you have to pay attention now. All right. Instead of me telling you, or the presenter telling about me, you get a point for your team if you can tell me, why should I be up here talking to you? You're the experts. What is it about me? Why did they invite me to do this? You've got, well, I said 3 minutes, but I'm only going to give you one. When you have a fact that's true, then you can tell me the source of that fact. Raise your hand. Get a prize. Let's go. You got 45 seconds left. Come on. Find something about me. Search me. Come on, let's go. This is engaging, interactive. Oh, come on, left team. Nobody's got their hand up yet? You haven't found something about me? Ah, there we go. Oh, you're going to make me walk all the way up the stairs. All right, what's the fact that's true about me?
You're the project manager of learning assurance at Copenhagen University in Western.
Okay, now before you get the prize, you have to be able to have evidence of why that will be true. Where did you get that information?
That is a LinkedIn
Oh, are you going to accept that academic LinkedIn.com as a reference? Not specific enough, is it? No, but I said that supported by it. So LinkedIn.com would be the site, but give me a little more.
There's several articles that you have.
No. I mean about the actual address.
Oh, UK.LinkedIn.com.
Oh, should we give it to her? Yeah, okay, we'll give you a point, but I look for more specifically my actual web address. My actual web address. This isn't working. Oh, but you're all in here. I don't see you in the other room. Oh, okay. All right. So the right team has a point. Left team, we're going to give you a chance to equalize here. What do you say? Actually, I say I'm Canadian until Trump is out. But go ahead and tell us the evidence.
The evidence is your nickname, Skip.
Ooh, that's a bit.
Very, very.
That's indirect, isn't it? I suppose we can give that to her. I would want to see a little more factual evidence than that. That's a little bit of like an inference, I think. All right, very good. And last chance now, either team. This is a tiebreaker. Last fact about me that's different. Okay, go ahead.
I'm in 2020. I had an interview with your person and I got a business card of you guys in meeting tonight.
So empirical evidence, right? You know, so she interviewed beforehand. Okay, and what's the fact?
The fact that I actually get what your business card with all the details, so I won't go wrong.
But you got to tell me something why I would be here.
Why is it here? Because you are a specialist in expression technology and machine learning.
Okay, we'll give her that. Okay, so the right side team wins. Give yourself a hand. Well done. Well done. It's a little bit dodgy on the evidence side. I'm not sure that would hold up for your PhDs, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Right. So here are some of the other things that you're talking about that you may have found when you did the search about me. So the point of this exercise is I could have just stood up here and read this at you, but instead I tried to engage you to become the content creators. You were making the learning. That's what the potential of the designs that we're going to be talking about can be. So let's throw around some buzzwords, some coined expressions. Just a quick show of hands. How many of you actually went onto the website and put in the definition, your definition of knowledge? Okay, those people that had their hands up, thank you very much. If you didn't get a chance to contribute yet, go to that website, abasil.wordpress.com, and have a look and see if sometime during the conference you can contribute to that online discussion about what does knowledge mean to you. Because it's not really clear, is it? It's not something that we can say is agreed by all. You're going to bring in your own personal perspective. That's just like in the beginning when I tried to say, what's your role here? Some of you are looking at it from an academic perspective. Some of you are technicians. Some of you are managers. You've all got your own agenda, your own perspective. And that's going to impact on your epistemology. What is epistemology? Anyone? Yeah? What do you think? Epistemology. Did you have one? What do you think?
It's a method you use to construct your own knowledge.
Okay, so I like that method to construct your own knowledge. So we've got some key words in there, method and knowledge. Well, for this conference, I'd like to throw out telepistemology. This is part of my research, my doctorate, and how that might differ from your definition of epistemology. So let's throw this around a little bit of a group discussion. What I'd like to do is see if we can populate the left side where we're talking about the elements of epistemology models. So when you're talking about knowledge, what kind of elements, what kind of factors would you think should contribute to that? To that definition? What do you think? Don't jump all at once now. Knowledge, what do you think? Evidence, okay. So it's evidence towards content, I'm guessing, what you're saying. Like that? Like if you are teaching a course or a module or providing some training, what types of elements are going to be contributing to that knowledge? What things are you looking for? So evidence would be part of it, because you don't just want opinion. Ah, interesting. So another facet of this is your prior knowledge. You don't want to have that tabula rasa, that empty slate. Well, they know absolutely nothing coming into my course or my training, and therefore I'm going to fill their heads with information, right? Because they may be actually experts already and more even knowledgeable than the person presenting. Good, nice. Anything else?
Context.
Yeah, go ahead.
Implicit and explicit knowledge, for instance.
Ooh, nice. Implicit and explicit knowledge. Very nice.
And also theoretical declarative knowledge and conceptual knowledge.
Brilliant, brilliant. So the type of knowledge itself might be abstract, or it might be more tacit. It might be more experiential knowledge. Brilliant. Okay, so we're starting to get our brains working here. This is nice early in the morning. Here's some elements of what we've just been talking about. We can look at knowledge as a product, as a thing. We can look at it, as you're suggesting, maybe as an abstract thing. What didn't really come up so much is knowledge linked to skills, especially in the corporate sector. If you're working with learning and development training, they're very focused on skills. I think we were talking in the introduction about applied learning. Okay, so if you're out there in the real world looking to solve real world problems in the community, it might be more skill-based. And the idea of facts. I want to challenge that a little bit this morning. A fact, something we all agree with, it's true, right? So one of the things we're going to try to do here this morning is make that movement from one part of the chart to the other. So over time, we're going to think less about knowledge as a product and more about it as a process. Who said about method or methodology? I think he was. So it's more of a process that we're going through. And the same thing, we might start off with an abstract idea. We might look at a model or a theory, but then how is that going to be put into application to solve a real world problem? And can we make the migration from a skill into wisdom? How would that happen? And then part of my research is looking at a fact, but it's in the context of that time and the information that you have available into becoming what I refer to as fuzzy facts. So, how can we get this to be a bit more interactive, a little bit more gamified? If we are looking at, say, webinar design, and just a quick show of hands, how many of you are using webinars in your teaching? Oh, not as many as I thought. Okay, less than half. Okay, interesting. All right. So those of you that are actually using webinars, have a look here. We've got a number of tools.